I'll be talking about scalability, IT resilience. As a startup, I'm assuming most of you are startups and in different stages, be it in the ideation phase or in your implementation or in the final leg of taking it to the market. There could be various stages. But when you are doing it in digital presence and you want to take your business globally, what are some things that you have to keep in mind? And where does your monitoring or the scalability aspects, your IT aspects itself, how does it impact your business model? Those are some things that I'll be discussing in today's session. What is a business? All of us, be it a startup or an SMB or enterprises, all of us do some form of business. That's what we are all in. And ideally, it is equivalent to taking care of customers. There are customers, be it whatever type of business that you do, software or even non-technical, non-software business. Ultimate goal is to serve to the customers. So that being the case, when you want to talk about scale, at scale, how do you manage? How do we take care of at Zoho the scalability issues or the other problems that we handle? All of these revolve around keeping customer at the center. So without impacting customers, or how do you do something so that you add value to customer service? So that is the equivalent for any business. So before I get into the exact presentation itself, adding true value to customer service, I wanted to go back in history and give some examples of how customer service and adding value to that has been taken care. So we have seen from the past as well. 2,500 years ago, this is how humankind communicated. You have to travel from one place to other if you have to transfer a message. You have to walk. The communication happened only through mankind, humankind. So you have to be taking the message along with you. And you have to run if you want to transfer the message faster. So that is how communication happened in the early days. There was no technology that exists today to take care of all the communications. And then man or humans thought that they wanted to do faster communication, and they started taming the four-legged animals, so that they thought they can sit on that, horses and other animals, and they can take the message faster. It's all about message transformation and communication itself. So this was how humankind then transformed. Every stage there has been transformation, thinking of what you can do so that you can benefit and you can pass that benefit to end customers. So they tamed the four-legged animals, and that's how communication happened. And then this 200 years ago, with the invent of Morse code, dada, at the speed of light, we were able to communicate the information. Communication itself transformed after the invention of this device. But then if communication has to happen this way, there has to be a lot of cabling, wiring, the underlying infrastructure has to be ready for such a communication. And humankind went ahead and did that as well. But there was a problem in laying your cables, or be it either underground or overneath. There was a problem which was faced where between Brussels and Athens, the cable could not be laid. The reason could be anything, some political issues or some problem, some mountain in between, which is taking longer time for the cable to be laid. Could be anything. But to the left of Brussels, the cable laying was done, and to the right of Athens, the cable laying was done. Between Brussels and Athens, they were not able to lay the cables that were required for the information transformation. But that's a bottleneck. Every industry or any business that you take, there will be bottlenecks. But how you convert that bottleneck in a way that is required for you, keeping your customers in mind, is what is important. So there is a problem that did not stop people from continuing what they wanted to do. Yeah, some of them just stopped. They were waiting for it to be completed and then they can take forward. But there was this one person who could not stop, who thought, no, I have to do something. It is going to impact my business. I have to do something so that the information is transferred between these places, even without laying cables. You know what he did? He used pigeons. The year was 1849. So all to the left of Brussels, the information traveled at the speed of light. But from Brussels to Athens, the information was traveled or transferred through pigeons. They type, these are all important information, stock exchange, stock market values that has to be transferred immediately. So that was written tied in a paper tied to the bird's leg, and the information transfer happened that way. And then to the left of Athens, again at the speed of light. So, you know what, this led to the birth of a company, and that was Reuters. What the person here is, again, Reuters. Even today, Reuters is believed, or it is trusted as a trustworthy agency for transferring important stock exchange informations and news articles. So why I'm bringing this here is, any blockage in your business shouldn't be seen as a blockage, and see how you can overcome that by some way or the other, and make sure you are able to continue in your business and give that added value to your customers. So your thought has to be keeping customers at the center, what you have to do so that you can improve in your business. This is just, I just thought I'll bring this example. Adding true value to customer service is what is customer experience. The experience could be in any format. The experience before the advent of digital, when you had physical stores, the experience is different. You go to a store, you buy something, the experience that you expect, or the parameters that has to be considered for satisfying customer experience is just different. But in the digital world, where everything is digital, all of us are doing online shoppings, and the businesses are going fully into the digital mode, and you have customers from across the globe. Whatever startup you are doing, if you want to take your business globally, you need to have a digital presence, and you will have a website using which customers will get into your page, look at what is your business, and purchase the product. That's how you satisfy your customers. So digital customer experience is important. And the experience could be in any format. It could be in the way you write a mail to your customer, or it could be in the way you design your UI. How easy it is to easy customizations. Do you require somebody standing next to you and explaining to them what is the UI about? I often ask this question when my technical person, or when the developer comes and tells me, what am I supposed to do in this screen? Then they'll come and explain, you have to do this here. Will you be doing the same thing to hundreds of customers who are going to use the product? Make it simple, make it self-explanatory, easy to use. Those are some things which people have to keep in mind, which you have to keep in mind, so that improves your customer experience. It could be in the way how you are writing your support mail, the way you greet your customers, the way you understand their problems, the way you design your product without any issues. There should not be any bugs, or the quality of the product is important. The value add that you're going to give to the customer. There are different things to take care when we talk about customer experience. It's not just one parameter. There are multiple parameters to consider. And in the digital world, taking care of digital customer experience is crucial. Digital customer experience matters. And there has been a survey, when you talk about this, when you go study how the industry is, how the world is taking care of. So there are different articles and different analysis and studies that have been done. One such study states that there is a digital happiness index that is being given. Only 15% of consumers are happy with their online shopping experience. So what are some of the reasons for unhappiness? Why do you feel, I mean, these are all simple. All of us would have faced this, but I'm just iterating to give the importance of customer experience and why you have to take care of it in your business. So what are some of the reasons for unhappiness? These are all again from the article that I referred to. There are some pop-ups and advertisements that keeps coming. All of us get that. When you go browse for something and you want to buy, there will be 100 advertisements. You can't even skip some of the advertisements. You have to go through them. So that is a reason for unhappiness. sometimes we just exit the page. We don't want to look at all those, and I don't want to proceed buying in that website. So I just exit the page. So that's the reason for unhappiness. Another 48% of people said that there have been crashing of applications. When you have a business and you have a website, there's going to be an application behind, or you have a website and you do some mobile, or it could be your mobile application. That could be a situation where you're going to have a crash. So crash during checkout has been a reason for unhappiness. So that's again, that was 48% of people quoted that. And you get a lot of discount codes. Some of them works, some of them don't work. So that again, people quoted as example for unhappiness, the digital unhappiness, website or application going offline. When you keep browsing, possibly during the checkout or somewhere, some place, it will go offline. You will not be able to proceed. So that has been, some 23% quoted that as a reason for unhappiness. And 42% people quoted that they can't find what they are looking for. I have faced this. I want to go buy something. I will not be able to get exactly what I'm looking for. There will be an n number of distractions other than that. And it is not simple enough to find out what you are looking for. So that is again another reason for unhappiness. So there are many other reasons, but these are just from that article. Why, what contributes to unhappiness in digital purchases. So when you are, again and again, the important point to take care is the digital happiness and the digital experience, which is important when you are having your business in a online presence and digital presence. In case you don't take care of the customer experience, what is the impact it can have on your business, and what is the impact it can have on your economy of your business? So that's something that we will take. First, it's not in any order. I'm just listing few points here. There are going to be customer attrition. People who are customers, who are your customers already, are going to leave you because they are not on par with, you don't satisfy them. The customer experience is neglected. We do that at a lot of times. Put yourself in the customer's place in all these situations. If you are the person who's going to buy that product that you are building, what will be your mindset and what will be your response? I keep telling this to all my developers and my sales people who end up calling people. There could be a lot of things that happen. You don't keep sending 100 mails. That's going to annoy the customer. They will leave you and go. There has to be a line between what you do as a way to help customer and the way where it crosses the border of annoying customers. That you have to understand. So understanding customers and taking care of them in their experience is important. When you neglect that, there is going to be customer attrition. And it's impact what is that? It's going to have an impact on your revenue. When you're going to have your customers go down, your revenue will also go down. And a lot of bad word of mouth will happen. Word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. If you are able to get it in good way, that's going to add to your business. And if you're going to develop a bad experience and that's spreading by bad word of mouth, that's going to impact your business. So you're neglecting your customer experience is going to have an bad impact on your business. And it is going to impact brand images. There are no direct measure for measuring this. You cannot associate a monetary benefit with these intangible measures. You are going to have a brand, it's going to impact your brand image too when you have a bad service, bad customer experience. And it is also going to impact your employees, because when you don't have business, when your business is going down and your customers are going down, your employees will also be frustrated. The product has been doing well. There are customers to satisfy to attend to. So when you get support, when there are a lot of people coming to you for support, yeah, there is you should see that as how can you improve that support. And another positive aspect is there are people who are trying it. That's why they are coming to you and asking for support. So that's a positive sign, and that will definitely motivate employees. So when you're going to when you're not going to pay attention to customer experience, it's also going to have an impact on your employees, and employees are going to be frustrated. So what are some of the strategies that you have to keep in mind to improve customer experience? These are some things which we practice internally, and I've been part of the company from its initial stages. I've been part of various various different products too. Today, I'm taking care of Site 24/7, but I have been part of other products too. And these are all some of the learnings that I'm sharing here, so that some way or the other, if it is helpful in your journey, startup journey, that's my benefit. So what are some of the strategies? The main thing is about the omni-channel engagement. It is not to say that you should have all these forms of engagements. When you have a customer service, or when you have a product and you have released the product and you're going to have customers who are using the product, you have to be having live chat support. You have to have phone support. You have to have email support. There has to be some personal meetings that you do. These are all the different engagements that you do. These are all the multi-channel engagements that you do with your customers. But what I mean by omni-channel is how well you are able to connect all these things. A customer, once they give a complaint in a phone call or they give an email, and you have people working in shifts, and there is during one shift, there was a complaint that was given, then other next shift, there is another person who comes in who doesn't know what has been the problem, what has been the complaint from the customer, and go and ask the customer to repeat everything again. That's a problem. The omni-channel is how well you are able to collect all these information and correlate all these information in one place, so that you understand your customers better. All of us face that. When you make a complaint to some IVR system that where you have made a complaint, and you have to again call, there is another person who's picking up the call, and you have to explain the whole story again, you will be frustrated. The first question that comes to you is, what system are you using? I've explained all this to a technician yesterday. Didn't they maintain the logs in the system? So your email support, suppose there is a chat that is happening and nobody is able, the technician is not free to pick up the chat. The information that is given by the customer has to be transferred into a ticket in your ticketing system, and then the context is understood, and then the reply is sent. So this connecting all this is omni-channel engagement, and this is one of the key factors for you to improve your customer experience. That could be you can even use AI chatbots to segregate all these tickets that are coming in. And if you are using AI, and if you're going to give the first level of response, you have to be very careful. Make sure you don't make any mistakes. A lot of times, if the AI is not configured properly, it's going to send out false alerts. We have seen many examples for that. So using AI also, people have to be cautious and train in such a way that it is able to give correct, accurate responses. Community support. Community is a place where even before you answer the response, there are other users who will be able to engage and give response to other users' problems. So omni-channel engagement is an important factor to take care of customer experience. And try to reduce the iteration. There have been cases where a simple query will go for 10 different iterations. That's mainly because the technician who's attending, or the lack of information in your system. You should have all the important information as knowledge-based articles. The technician should be trained enough to understand the problem. If they have to ask the bare minimum questions, that has to be done in the first iteration itself. You have to get the logs, you have to get the environment details, because a lot of time the problem will be different in customer environment than what it was. So if you have to get all those informations, make sure your technician or the person, whoever is handling customer, is trained enough or is knowledgeable enough to get all the information, and so that you can reduce the iteration. If there are going to be 1 week or 10 days wasted in to and fro, that's going to frustrate the customers. So have your backend system foolproof in such a way you get all these relevant information recorded, and the process is in place, so that you can reduce the iterations. And these are the language that you use, how you respond to your customers, customer service etiquette. That is also important. The tone with which you write the email, or the tone in which you talk to the customer, it shouldn't look like a robot. There will be problems. Any product, any software, however mature, there will definitely be issues. We have to first accept that. But how well do we understand the customer's pain points, and how well are we able to empathize with them and explain to them what is the problem, and see to that you are able to solve the problems, and there lies your customer service. So that is important. Make sure and keep it transparent. If you know that it will take 1 week for you to do that fix, inform that to customers. Don't just blindly say, oh, yeah, and we understand the urgency and will immediately fix it for you. We will add this into our roadmap. So indefinite lines and words like this is not going to be helpful. That doesn't mean that you have to tell them it depends on the severity of the problem. So there are certain problems which you can take some time. Give that sufficient time. Don't commit to even feature request. You know it will take more time, but you don't want the customer to go away, and you give a false commitment there and try to do it in a hurry. That's going to have an impact. So that understanding what is the problem, is it a feature request, or is it just is it a showstopper issue, or can I wait and can I give it? So understand all that and keep your communication very transparent. Those are some things which has to be kept in mind in customer service. That will definitely, the customers are also human beings. They will understand and they'll be able to accept it. And if there are going to be delays, explain to them early. Don't go and tell in the last minute. If you have promised a date, possibly you promised some Q2 2022, and you know the feature is going to take another month time. Tell them 15 days or 1 month in advance that there's going to be a delay. If you go and tell them in the last minute, last day that no, they haven't completed, it's going to be 1 month later, then that's going to cause some frustration. You know there is going to be a delay, keep it transparent with customers. So those are some things which you have to keep in mind that will help you improve your customer experience. And you have to monitor. There has to be metrics that are to be used for monitoring. What is the first response time? What is the customer satisfaction score? How many days that does it take to resolve a ticket? And are you meeting the SLAs? Go through all the SLA reports. How many iterations is it taking? Those are some things which you have to measure and make sure you monitor them and make sure you are able to cater to and improve on those metrics is something that you have to keep in mind. The other monitoring is the real-time monitoring. So you have to make sure that you see your end users sees the data exactly as how you are seeing. Suppose you have deployed your system or you have your deployment in India, maybe in Bangalore somewhere, and you have customers who are using it from different parts of the globe. You have to make sure it is the response from response time to without any errors, how your system behaves. All of them have to be the same across the globe. So there are tools using which you can monitor your real-time users. How is the response time in the different browsers? What is the browser your customer is using? What is the version that they are using? What is the device that they are using? Is it a problem because of an ISP? The meeting that I'm doing here now, that could be if I'm having an ISP problem in my house, I will not be able to continue the presentation. But that does not mean the remote video conferencing tool is having any issue. Similarly, your software, your customers, when they are using, they could complain of some problems. You need to exactly know how it is behaving for them from that region, so that you have all the data to present to your customer saying that if we have done that, there is a problem with your ISP, you need to change to another ISP. So that is again, for which you need tools to measure all of this. So that's again the real user monitoring that will help you to enhance your customer experience. And when you're using tools in all these places, AI is one area that has to be used, or that is being used in each and every of the industry that is around us. In everything that we do around us, AI has been helpful, and people are leveraging AI in their businesses that they are doing, whatever be the business that you are doing. So I'll just give few examples of how AI will be helpful and how you can leverage it in your field. I'm just giving examples from as a general examples. You can think how that can be applicable for your business areas too. AI and ML can help in many ways. One of the important ways AI and ML can help is it can help with evaluating past performance. And as I said in the beginning, during your customer experience itself, AI, the system, the engine, or whatever programming that you have done is only as good or as bad as how it is programmed to do. So enough adequate training with accurate data points is important. If you have to take back 1 point from AI perspective itself, I would recommend that to be this. So make sure your system is trained sufficiently to take care of all the, you are feeding it with all the accurate data points so that it can help. Lot of times our customers have complained, no, I'm trying to use AI in my system, but I'm getting false alerts. That's because the system is not trained adequately. To give an example, at Zoho, we do have a separate labs team that takes care of all the AI works. And we make sure the products that are using all the AI activities, we do use it for minimum 18 months to 24 months before we take it to customers. We use that as a time period to train the data, to train our AI system so that it can give correct, accurate predictions as expected. So that is something that you have to keep in mind when you are implementing AI in any system or any business that you are using. So how can it help in evaluating past performance? You have all the historical data that are being collected. So we have petabytes of data. It's all about the data lake, and there are a lot of products around how you make sense out of the data collected itself. So based on the historical data, based on what the information that is being stored in the system, the AI engine can evaluate that and help with accurate decision making. Suppose you made a New Year sale, or you made some Diwali sale, and during those sale, you expect a lot of people to get into your website. A lot of people will log into your website. You have millions of people logging into your website. That's unusual. That happens possibly during some sale time. And to attend to that scale, because that's a scalability thing, you have hosted it on some public cloud, or you might have hosted your system on your own cloud too. But when you have when you're expecting people to come at scale, you have to include more resources at your backend. You may have to add some 10 servers in your infrastructure, or you have to enable auto scaling feature in public clouds accordingly. So these are some information that are already available based on the previous sale that is being done. Now the system, when you want to do another promotional sale in the future, based on the previous historical data, the AI engine will be able to tell you how many more systems you have to add, because we have that information. So it will analyze all those data and help you with predicting how to take care of the scalability problem that is going to come now. So that is the one way it can help. And enabling communication, chatbots. All of us use different communication mechanisms. Some of them for our day-to-day communication. We use at Zoho, we use our own tool, Zoho Click. Some people use Slack for their communication. Some of them might use Microsoft Teams for their communication. There are different tools that are being used for communication. And there could be some chatbots that will tell you exactly, that will help you to integrate with your tools that you are using and give all those information into your communication channel itself, because you don't want to go to another channel to see if there are any alerts. You don't want to go look at another screen or another website to see, or to see what the problem is. It can all be integrated into your chat communication channel that you're using, and that is possible using AI chatbots. Manage a flurry of alerts. If you are attending to customers and you have a ticketing system, or you have a monitoring system that handles all the alerting, there are going to be multiple and thousands of alerts that are going to come in. And if you are going to segregate them based on severity and assign some technician based on, if it is a L1 level ticket, these are the technicians that are assigned. If it is another L2 or based on severity, you assign some technician. The AI engine will learn all these user behaviors and make sure that the automation is done so that one level is sorted out, and so you can fix the problem, and it can help you reduce your mean time to repair, or it can help you maintain your SLA timings too. So AI can help in managing a flurry of alerts. And there are data correlation that has to be done across tools. There are various tools that are being used by people. You need to correlate among these data and see what is happening. That's also possible. And correlation test results. When you're having your website and you're having some deployment, there are different testings that you have to do. You have your production setup, you have your pre-production setup, you have your staging setup, you have your automation setup, you have your development setup. The test results of all these setups have to be correlated, and AI can help in that. And it will also help in exhaustive training so that it can prevent false alerts. That the important criteria is, or people will believe the AI system only if you're able to give that trust and give that assurance that there are not going to be any false alerts, for which exhaustive training, self-training itself, that system can do. That is one way AI can help. So these are some ways in which you can leverage AI. There are different use cases where it can help with decision making or dynamic thresholds, forecasting, corrective actions, conversational chatbots. So these are just sample areas where AI can help based on what your business use case is and what your web application is. You can make sure you make use of these AI technologies. This is just an example. I'm just skipping this because this is more to do with monitoring section. I'm not sure of the audience. If I've been doing it in physical presence, I can at least understand the audience pulse and I can talk about that. So I'm just skipping that portion. Future of AI ops. Yes, there is the road ahead. There are a lot of things that has to be done in AI where we focus on accurate anomalies, and noise has to be reduced in alerting particularly. You have an infrastructure and you have an application that is running in the infrastructure, and there's no point in raising 10 alerts for one infrastructure itself. See how you can consolidate and reduce the noise and give actual alert to the customers. More and more forecasting, and the system is helping towards from being proactive rather than being reactive. All along the time we have been like, when a problem occurs, how can we go and fix the problem? That's being reactive. But AI engines or AI technologies are helping people, helping businesses in preventing the problems from occurring. So it is helping you to be proactive rather than being reactive. Future of AI technologies. This is again from Gartner's study. By 2023, 75% of organizations will use deep neural networks in place of machine learning techniques. So we know this AI, ML, DL as a subset of circles, the book definition that we have. So the deep neural network techniques are nothing but you store every pixel of data, and so that will help you make accurate predictions. So that is the trend in which organizations are moving. And cloud-based AI is picking up. There's going to be 5 times increase. Machine learning as a service, like how we have software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. You have data, but you don't know how to make sense out of it. There is machine learning as a service, which is picking up the algorithms that are being used. You need not worry about all those, and you can make use of the services. And that is going to be in the future, is one of the prediction. And there is going to be 40% of large enterprises are also using AI augmented automation. It's not just SMBs or the startups. Even enterprises have gone through all this and they have started using the AI augmented automations. And okay, all this talks about making use of a monitoring tool for you to monitor your websites or your applications. What are some things that you have to keep in mind while choosing a right tool? How do I choose a tool? Or if you are a person who's building a tool, what are some things you have to keep in mind while building the tool is something we'll discuss here. So of the many things, I say first one is look for ICE. What does it mean? Look, I stands for integrable, C for customizable, and E for extensible. I'll tell you what this is. There are going to be in-house tools, and you're going to bring in another new tool. There has to be import, export options, plug and play, and it has to work together in a beautiful way. That is integrable. Customizations, we don't want to use exactly what you're giving. I want to change the color of the button. I want to change the text that is being used here. I don't want to call this person as I want to rename the persona that is being used. So those options is what customers ask for. In your business, in your software, make sure you're giving such customizations options. Sometimes people don't want to even use the logo. They want to change the logo. They want to completely rebrand and use it. Don't make it very rigid. Wherever possible, make it customizable. It is not just for the tool that you're going to use. These have to be kept in mind in the product that you are building too. So you have to give all the import export options. You have to make sure that you have all the customization options. And extensibility is more like API support. People may want to take your product. I don't like your client. Let me build my own client. Or I'll just fetch the data. I'll do something myself and build on top of it. Or the client, I just want to drag and drop few of the widgets and make my own dashboard. I don't like the default dashboard that is being provided. So because we are living in a citizen coders era where people don't want to take something that is given out of the box and use as such. So that will be the mindset of your customers too. Even in your business, make sure you give all these support. API support is important. Customize, drag and drop and building widgets, it's important. At the same time, it has to be workable model. It's not that somewhere the functionality should break. Any point in time, anything that you do, it should still be a workable model. So that is something that you have to keep in mind while you're choosing your monitoring tool. At the same time, these are some things which you have to take care of in your tool too, so that your customers are benefited. And this is something to do with monitoring perspective. I'm not sure if it's applicable for everybody, but I'll tell you what is transparency to do with the fruits that are there here. In any monitoring tool, there are going to be dashboards. And if you look at the dashboard, most of the time, and we have seen some of our customers give this complaint too, it's all green. Everything looks fine. Green is running correctly. It's all your infrastructure, your server component, your database, your application, everything is working fine. But sometimes when you drill down and go deep inside, there will be some problems. It will be red inside. So that's what is the watermelon effect that I call. Your tool should not be, or the tool that you're choosing should not be a watermelon. It should instant be a kiwi, where it is both green outside and green inside. Be transparent. If there are going to be errors, tell them that there are going to be errors. So that is something that you have to keep in mind in your choice of monitoring tools and in your software too. And make sure you're able to give all the automation facilities, because people don't want to be repeatedly doing the same things. Make sure you have automation facilities. Make sure you're making use of all the AI capabilities wherever possible, and cost effectiveness. That is something, that is another angle you have to take care of. Even in your own deployments, just because everybody else have hosted it in a public domain does not mean you have to host it in public domain. Every business is unique. Every customer is unique. Depending on your business needs and depending on your customer needs, choose what you want to do. So your choice need not be influenced by what the industry is or what others are doing. You are the best person to make choice, because a lot of time you need not even host it in a public cloud where auto scaling is available, and you measure the cost and see which becomes cost effective, and then choose what you want to do. This is applicable for any technology that you want to bring into your business. Keep customers at the center. Don't try to do something that is going to have a major drawback or major impact on your customers. So if you want to bring in some change, make sure you're doing it in small portions without impacting customers. So these are some things which you have to keep in mind. So there are many tools in the market, and Site 24/7 is one of the monitoring tool. I've not gone into the details. For startups, when you have websites, you need to monitor them, and there are many tools. Site 24/7 is one such AI-powered full stack monitoring tool that can help you take care of all your monitoring needs. So this is something that I talked earlier too, the breadth of AI works that we do at Zoho. Our labs teams takes care of so many things, so many different areas that we work on: seasonality detection, anomaly detection, facial recognition, language predictions, or the sentiment analysis, voice assistance, natural language processing. There are different things that our labs team works on. And for Site 24/7, we make use of those features that are applicable for our monitoring needs. We make use of forecasting, anomaly detection, outage prediction, the root cause analysis. These are some things which we make use of. And Site 24/7 is hosted in Zoho's data center. We have data centers in 5 different regions, 10 different data centers. At each region, we have a primary and a secondary data center. We have one in US, one in Europe, one in China, one in India, one in Australia. Customers can choose the geographical boundary where they want their data to reside. Being a cloud provider, we do make sure we take care of privacy, security, and compliance very seriously, and get all the certifications that are required. If you are a business person who's trying to host it in the cloud, you have to make sure you get all the required certification for your products, for your business, so that your customers get that confidence and trust that is required. So I've almost come to the end of the session. So some of the key takeaways from this session, we have talked about the importance of customer experience and how you have to take care of them. And if you don't take care of customer experience, there are going to be impacts, and there are going to be customer churn is going to be there. and how you can make use of AI ops in your monitoring tools, and what are some things you have to keep in mind to choose a right tool, as well as for your business too. Site 24/7 is one such tool that is available. So I'll just finish off with this quote. This is my favorite quote. This is called as Red Coin's quote from the book Alice in Wonderland. And the quote goes like this. I'm sure some of you at least would have known or heard this quote. If you have to be running as fast as you can in order to stay in the same place. And if you want to make any progress, you have to run twice as fast as you can. You understand what I'm trying to say? In this fast-paced technology world where new technologies keep coming every day, you have to make sure you update yourself so that you don't become outdated. So that is something we do follow at our products, and make sure we pass that benefit to our customers. Personally, also for each and every one of us, that is important. We have to be on par with what is happening in the industry so that we don't get lost. So all the best for all the products and startups that you are doing. I'm open for any questions. Hello. I think you can unmute and ask, or how is it handled, Samhita? You're on mute. I'm not able to hear you. Was I audible throughout the session? Okay. Okay, perfect. I'm still not able to hear you. I'll stop sharing. Then we'll check. You're able to hear me? Okay. But I think we are not able to hear you. I'll go through the questions myself. There is one open question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, great. So yes, I was saying I will read out the questions from the Q&A section and also the chat box. So sorry about the technical.
No problem, no problem.
So, okay, the first question we have is from an anonymous attendee. They've said they have a solid idea of the product and now they are working on the technology bit of it. However, they are not a registered company yet. But they would like to explore Zoho Creator app and also utilize Zoho credits. How can they go about this?
Okay. I think they can use Zoho Creator. That shouldn't be a problem. In the trial mode, they must be able to use. But I think they're referring to having about the credits for startups. So that might require, because that's handled by a different team, that might require some basic criteria. I would recommend, I'll give my email ID, just ask them to write to me. I'll see what best I can do. If they want to make use of Site 24/7's monitoring, website monitoring, I can give them. That doesn't require any registration, startup registration kind of thing. But for making use of Zoho credits and Zoho startups, because that's handled by a different team, I can recommend, but I'll see what best I can help them. I'll post my email ID to everyone so they can write to me or connect to me through the social media platform, and I can help them with it.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Okay, there is another question from Nimisha Tiwari. She has asked, what do you suggest way forward from Zoho for a service-driven startup?
Sorry, can you read it again?
Sure. She has asked, what do you suggest for the way forward from Zoho for a service-driven startup?
Service startup. We have been a product company so far, if I understand the question correctly. So we are a product-driven company from our early days. So that is a cautious decision which we have taken, not to go on the service side, because we wanted to build products. So that's our forte. So be it Zoho or under Manage Engine or Site 24/7, we do build products that are being used by all people. Whoever want, they can use it. So servicing a particular customer, or for a particular customer providing as a service, we have tried once or twice depending on the volume earlier, but that's not our cup of tea is what I would say. So for now, we will restrict with what we are doing, and people do come to us. We do have trainings. We do have for all our products. We do have trainings, and there are partners who are available who take care of doing all these services. So we recommend them, or we redirect them to our partners if they are very particular about getting a particular service. There are certified partners who take care of doing it as a service. So that's something that I would say.
All right, great. Okay. Nisha, hopefully your question was answered. All right, just a note to all attendees, if you have any additional questions, please put it in the Q&A section. In the meantime, we will be perusing through the chat section to address questions that have been put in there. So from the chat section, there are questions, first of all, about getting in touch with you. So Rajalakshmi has provided her LinkedIn as well as her email ID. So please refer to that. Second of all, they have asked, what recommendations would you give for a healthcare-based startup?
Healthcare is what is that? It's a domain that requires a lot of startups, I would say. Okay. Every industry, there are people who are trying to explore. So first thing that I would say is identify the problem statement, what you are trying to solve. Irrespective of the domain that you want to take up with, healthcare is definitely a domain which requires a lot of people to come up with ideas and come up with the software, but that would require tie up with the hospitals, the infrastructure, or the environment around that is different. But the criteria or the important thing to keep in mind is the problem statement that you're trying to address. So think through what is the problem that you want to solve, what is the core for your business, and see how you can expand along that, because that might require a lot of tie-ups with the hospitals, doctors. It's a domain which is not something which you can build yourself, because it does require help from other people. Slowly start establishing connect and see how you are able to pitch in your idea and see how it solves. So first thing is coming up with a problem statement, and then go ahead establishing on top of that.
All right, great. Then we also have another question about recommendations for a food retail outlet.
Food retail outlet.
Yes.
Again, as a startup idea.
Yes.
Okay. First thing I would want to say about any startup people want to do is a lot of time there is an inhibition. I've addressed many startup communities too. A lot of time there is an inhibition saying that no, that area is already saturated. There are a lot of other players in that area. What am I going to do, or what am I trying to do in that? That question comes up with every people when they get a startup. But I would only say one thing: where there is a market potential, there is business. It's not that you have to go start a business in an area where there is no startup over there, and let me go and do a startup there. First, think if there is a market potential. See if there are customers. Where there are customers, where there are market potentials, there will be competition. There will be other players, but there is a market potential. So in that area, even there can be 5 players or 50 players or 100 players, is not a matter for us. What is that you are trying to address? What is the problem statement which others have not taken care of? Possibly they are all big giants. They don't worry about the small people's problems.
Yeah.
To identify your core area. Any startup, the core idea that you want to solve is important. Even be it food segment or any other segment that you take. So I identify that problem statement, work around that, think through that. Sometimes it's not something that it's a magic that happens in 1 month or 12 months. You have to be patient enough. Keep trying. There will definitely be failures. Identify what has gone wrong. How can you improve on that? Give it some time. See if you have been thinking on something continuously, we will definitely be able to see success. Put yourself in customer shoes. If you are a customer, what is that you will miss? What is that you are missing? Why wouldn't you come to yourself to buy that product? Then you will automatically come up with ideas to enhance that. So your core problem statement and giving your full commitment to that is important. Where there is competition, there is market potential. Keep that in mind and work on that.
All right, great. Okay, I hope Deepa, your question was answered. There's also another question from Premjit Singh. They've asked for an example of Zoho being used in an on-demand service industry or in an on-demand service startup. They have a tailoring services startup and they want to understand more in the context of that.
Okay, Zoho's products, various products can be useful for different types of industries. Whatever be the industry that you are servicing, it's ultimately a business. When you have a business, when you have customers, you would require some of the services, be it an on-demand service or an on-premise service, whatever your business you're doing, you will have, suppose 4 people have joined together, you're doing an on-demand service. You would require, you have customers, you would require a customer management software. You would require a payroll software to take care of your employees. You would require an office software to submit your tax, a booking software to submit your taxes. And you would require some collaboration tools. So Zoho is a kind of company where we give all these end products. We say we take care of all these loose ends. You focus on your business. That's why we call ourselves the operating system for your entire business. Any business, when you have customers, there are different areas. You need tools for marketing. You need tools for sending out promotions. So these are all the different tools which are required, which is provided by Zoho. So irrespective of it being on-demand service or a product service, if it is a software business, you need different tools, and that's what Zoho provides.
All right, great. I think that is all the questions. 1 second. I think there's something in the chat. Okay. Another question has just come in. There are also some praises and there's also some feedback on how good of a session it was. There is a question from Samir Prasad. They've asked, we are into vegan ice cream manufacturing and distribution. How can Zoho help?
Definitely. So it is not that Zoho is useful only for IT related products. We have, if you, I don't know if where the geography from where people are joined in. If in Tamil Nadu, in down south, there is this fishery domains where people just catch fishes and they sell fishes. Those people also use Zoho as a software. So ice cream business or any business you will have customers. When you have a company, you have a registered company, you have to submit your taxes, you have to pay GST, you need tools for that. So be it any kind of business, the tools will be helpful.
All right. Zoho, they've also asked a question. Nishtha has asked, how does Zoho utilize AI for forecasting trends?
It depends on the product that you are using. So as a tool, we have our labs team, which takes care of using all the train the data and evaluate from what the data that is being stored. If you have to talk about forecasting trends in a monitoring tool, the Site 24/7 perspective. So the infrastructure that we have our disk, and the disk utilization is hello.
Yes, hi, welcome back. We were
Sorry,
just
I
no issues, no
yeah,
issues.
I was lost. The whole session, I think it started refreshing. So I was talking about, I don't know where I got disconnected. So I was talking about AI forecasting. So it depends on the product that you're using. So in a monitoring product for a disk utilization, you will have to, based on the last 7 days, your disk is 25% full. Based on that, when will your disk be full? So you can be precautionarily and take care of all this. So forecasting is available depending on the product. And as a framework, the team has given that, and each and every product is using it based on their needs.
Great. All right, Nisha, I hope your question was answered. There is another question from Yugandhar. He has asked if there are any free trials that Zoho provides for startups, specifically early stage ones.
Early stage ones should be there. Just every product, see, any and every product that Zoho has a free version, has a trial version during your evaluation period. For startups specifically, there is the Zoho for Startups program, but that would require some points and credentials, or that would, they have some criteria. So yours does not fall under the criteria. And if you're looking for a particular product, I can connect you with that particular product itself. Do write to me and I can connect you.
Okay, so they can get in touch with you for the same, right? All right. So I hope all attendees, you've made note of that. Her LinkedIn as well as the email ID are in the chat. I will send the message again. So it is easily accessible for everyone. So any free trial questions that you have or any further questions that you may have, please get in touch with Rajalakshmi. She has provided her contact details for the same. So I think we have addressed all open questions. That brings us to the end of this session as well as Startup Essentials Week. So thank you so much, Rajalakshmi. It was a great session. It was quite insightful, and we were very excited to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.